compost in your garden and how to use a small garden shredder. We've been composting in our garden since about 2011. We've lived in a variety of different places in the UK. We've had some rental properties where we've had really small gardens. We're probably at the largest garden we are now. We own our home now. So when you're composting, it's what you do to get rid of garden waste. Plants create garden waste, and that's when leaves fall off your plants or you trim off branches. Or after the growing season, the rest of the plant isn't needed anymore, or after the flower stops blooming, you cut that back. That's all considered garden waste. Now, where I live in Wales in the United Kingdom, we can have our garden waste collected by the council. They do that every 2 weeks. I think it's about 50 pounds, and they'll come and collect it. We don't use that service. We compost our own garden waste in our rear garden in the back. And we do a layering system with some of the stuff we've got. So we put obviously our chicken poo in there, which is like gardening gold. So we put all of our chicken poo in the compost. We put our uncooked chicken scraps in the compost. So eggshells, fruit, vegetable peelings, all of that into the compost. And then our hedge clippings, the little twigs and leaves, the little sticks, the little flower heads, all that as well. So it all gets layered up. And occasionally I'll take some brown cardboard and I'll shred that in our paper shredder in the house, and I'll add that as well. And it's been working well in the sense that when we had previously only composted chicken poo on its own, it had a real strong pneumonia smell. And now, because we're doing it in lots of layers, you only smell this earthly dirt smell when you're near the compost, and not a stronger chicken poo smell. Hi, I'm Beth from Garden City Chickens. I weekly do a video and write a blog about keeping my backyard chickens in my small garden. So as of 2020, we keep our compost in a pallet style area that we made. And we have it divided into 2 sections. So half of it gets all the small bits, and then the other side we stack up our large hedge sticks, our corn stalks, our sunflower stalks, really big material that we're not going to put with the small poo and chicken scraps, kitchen scraps. And that's because if you were just to put these big branches right in, they would never, in any noticeable amount of time, ever break down, and they're going to stay in your way. They're going to get into, let's say, your vegetable plots or in your garden flower bed, and they'll be these big sticks, long, and they're just not going to break down. The shredder is really useful in reducing the amount of space that I'm storing the branches around our garden. So if I was trying to let those big sticks and stalks compost naturally, it would be a huge pile and it would always be there. So shredding that down really compacts that space. Also, you get I'm improving the soil in my garden when I add all that compost, and it's also free, kind of. Sometimes the shredder will break down the stalks and the sticks so well, we'll just add it as mulch right away into our garden beds. And then other times we'll just pour it into our regular compost with all the small bits. We've had a small garden shredder since 2019, and it's very useful for shredding down firm, long sticks and stalks. And you need to be able to put them into the hole and get them down into the blades. So when they're firm and long, it's easy to do that, and the blades can chop it up and spit it out like you would expect it to do. I wouldn't recommend a small budget garden shredder if you want to break down leaves and small twigs or wet material. When you do that, they get clogged very easily. So we wait until it's a nice dry day, and that's when we do the shredding. It will get clogged even still, but to unclog it, it's not too big of a deal. You open it up and you poke it with a stick to knock the material out. But you would be doing that constantly if it was wet material and little bits of leaves and sticks. Garden budget shredders. Have you used one before? How did that work out for you? What are your thoughts on composting? Is that something you do or you're considering doing? You can let me know in the comments or send me a message. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.